I never thought I'd live to see the day that I agreed with Alyssa Milano, but this is a courageous move for her, because the left, when you go out of lockstep with their ideology, they tend to be very rabid. They attack you, and it does take a bit of courage, I think, for any radical leftist to step away from their mob and say, well, wait a second, something you're doing is wrong.
Absolutely. I never thought I'd see the day that Alyssa Milano has more political courage than, for example, Kristen Gillibrand, who had Linda Sarsour introduce her at a march, or the many Democratic leaders, high-ranking Democratic leaders from Nancy Pelosi onward, who have embraced the Women's March publicly and ignored the long-standing record of people like Linda Sarsour with regards to anti-Semitism and really radical statements in general.
Right, and this is what Alyssa Milano said in the Advocate magazine in that interview. I want to read it. She said, quote, "Anytime that there is any bigotry or anti-Semitism in that respect, it needs to be called out and addressed. I'm disappointed in the leadership of the Women's March that they have not done it adequately." Someone asked her then, the interviewer asked her if she was going to speak at the Women's March. She said, quote, "I would say no at this point. Unfortunate that none of them have come forward against him," meaning Farrakhan, at this point, or even given a really good reason why to support them. I mean, that's actually quite insightful. There's no reason why these women wouldn't come forward and disavow Farrakhan. I mean, how hard is it to look at the guy and say, wow, he's anti-Semitic, just so everyone knows we don't agree with that?
Yeah, and this is not a close call, right? Louis Farrakhan, the most recent anti-Semitic thing that he did was call Jews termites on Twitter, compared Jews to termites. But this is a guy who said Hitler was a good guy, who has said that God will put Jews in ovens. This is not like a sort of close call or a matter of interpretation. This is a long-standing thing with Louis Farrakhan. And furthermore, Linda Sarsour has made a number of ridiculous statements of her own, really radical statements. She praised one of the unindicted co-conspirators of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing as her favorite person in the room. She has praised cop killers who fled to Cuba. She's praised Fidel Castro upon his death. She had nothing but nice things to say about brutal dictator Fidel Castro. And she, with regard to feminism, and this is supposedly the Women's March, right? She attacked Ayaan Hirsi Ali, who is an anti-Islamic activist, women's rights activist, and said that she doesn't deserve her vagina. Meanwhile, American feminists are obsessed with issues like tampon taxes. I'm not even kidding. Tampon taxes, and then smearing Brett Kavanaugh, while Ayaan Hirsi Ali is actually fighting for the rights of millions of women actually living in a brutal patriarchy in the Islamic world. So I think it would be very easy, just on the basis of Farrakhan, to condemn Linda Sarsour if this Women's March is really interested in representing a broad swath of women. I don't think that's ever been the case, though. I don't think they're interested in representing a broad swath of women. I think they're interested in representing a far-left feminist agenda, and that's what it's always been.